What's up, old schoolers? So today on this video, I want to talk about some money-making methods. A lot of people have been asking me, how do you make your money? Where does it come from? What do you do? How did you get started? And I'm going to go through a couple different ways that I ended up making a bank, and from there, I just kept building upon it. When I started playing RuneScape, it was like 2004 or so, and I played all the way up until 2012 before the EOC came out. And at that point, I took a break from the game, started playing League of Legends, played that for a couple of years, and I came back to old school in September of 2014. And I started with a brand new account because my old one somehow had been stolen. So I knew I had to start from, ground zero, nothing, absolutely nothing in the bank but the things you get from Tutorial Island. So I had experience with the game from that point, and I just needed to use my past experience to get back to where I was. So when I started out getting some skills up, minor skills, fire making, cooking, fishing, wood cutting, all that. And I got that stuff up to about level of 40 or so, and that's when I turned to combat, because combat is the easiest way personally that I think is to make money in the game. Slayer has always been my favorite skill, and if you're starting a new account, get some skills up, and I can't stress this enough, do some Slayer. Get your Slayer levels up, and the way that I made the money initially with Slayer was, you get the crappy tasks up until you get maybe like 40 to 50 Slayer, but at that point, you want to pick up absolutely everything that can be dropped, from herbs to gems, and I didn't care how many times I had to bank throughout a trip, throughout a task. I just kept banking and banking everything, and I just let those stacks keep adding up and adding up. And then eventually, when I would run out of money initially, I'd sell that stack, and then I'd have more. And by the time, I needed to get some more gear or something like that, I'd have so much money in the bank. So even though Slayer is a really slow start and it is a really long grind to 99, it's tons and tons of money. Once you get up into the upper Slayer levels, once you hit like 75, you'll be making, a couple mil per level. And then once you grind through all that, once you get up to 90, you can make anywhere, 20 mil plus per level, depending on your RNG. You get whip drops and stuff like that. And I had 99 before Cerberus was out, before all these Slayer monster bosses were out, the Abyssal Sire. But I still managed to make probably, I want to say, 200 plus mil, from 1 to 99. And I want to say that don't cancel tasks that you can make money from. If you cancel those tasks, even if they're boring, you're not gonna make as much. So like before you can kill spiritual mages, if you get a spiritual creature task, don't cancel it. Kill the spiritual warriors. They drop a lot of rune kite shields and halberds and long swords, and they also drop a lot of animant and mithril stuff that you can just bring alchs and while you're on task. And I can guarantee if you get 160 to 200 spiritual creatures, you kill the warriors, you're probably gonna make between 5 and 700 k GP a task. But that's also not that's not all you can do to make money. It is a grindy way to make money, and if you watch any of my other videos, you'll see that I kill massive amounts of something just to make some money. But mostly that's for people looking to see, how much can I get per hour for killing these monsters. I do that basically because I hear things, like in my most recent video, the gargoyle video, I was hearing 600k an hour, 800, 900, 1 mil an hour. So I thought, I want to see how this is working out. I want to see if this is true, which I didn't find it to be true. Somebody made a comment on the video that the updated drop table came out so long ago that all these items have crashed, but I don't think that's true, because most of them are player-made items. You can get them from elsewhere in the game, so they have a pretty steady market price. Other ways to make money, when you get to be a little higher level, you're going to want a team, God Wars Dungeon, and most people, you'll be like, oh, I never get drops, or drops are so rare. Yes, they are, but God Wars Dungeon, you have to grind it. And once you get even higher, like up into the 120 combats, you can learn how to solo those bosses, And even if you go 100 kills without a drop, maybe on that 101st kill, let's say you're soloing Bandos and you get a chest plate drop, then there's 16 mil or however much it is at the current moment. And you get the tacits, which are even more expensive. It all makes it worth it. But what some people don't understand about this game is that it is a grind. It is a constant grind that's never going to end. I mean, you always have new content coming out. You always have something. Even people that were maxed when Zaya came out, now they have something to go do, get 100% house favor. So it's always grinding. Other ways, if you don't have combat yet, like let's say you want to start Slayer, you want to get to that point where you can buy good gear, maybe get a dragon chain body and plate leg so you're not banking every 20 kills. Well, you can go out and woodcut. Woodcutting, it does suck. It is very boring. Watch a movie, something like that. You can go fishing, also very boring. Crappy way to make money, but in the end it will pay off. But personally, my favorite is Slayer, like I've said, and you just have to make money to get to that point. Like everything in my bank has been made from Slayer. That's where everything stemmed from. If you want to keep going with other money-making methods, you can do mining, which is, I think, personally the worst grind. I think mining to me is even worse than rune crafting. But there are people out there that enjoy that. And it's just whatever you feel is necessary to make the money that you want. I remember even when I started, I spun flax. I spun like 15,000 or 20,000 flax, just to get, a startup. I did that. I did some wood cutting. Everything adds up over time. And I'll show you right here. I'm going to go bank. I'll show you what I have in my bank currently from Slayer and from doing all of these monster killing videos. And if you go back and watch the other videos, you can see just how much I'm making per hour, per kill on any given thing. I wouldn't pay much mind to the Black Dragon video because I did get a Visage and a full helm drop, so that just exponentially increased my wealth. But from the regular drops is what you can assume to get. So when I started, I didn't have anything, and this is what I have. This is the bank that I have now currently. I have all the Barrows sets, the ring set, Bandos, Armadillo, Dragon Fire Shield, Blowpipe. I have the Necklace of Anguish, Amulet of Torture, and the Ring of Suffering, Fury, Boot set, some other miscellaneous stuff, Armadillo Godsword, and I wouldn't have any of this unless I started with Slayer. Some people like to make their money off PvP. I don't really PvP that much. I am going to throw in a PKing video so you guys can watch how trash I am at this. But my main point is you need to find something that you actually enjoy doing. If maybe you like watching movies or something and AFKing something, well, that's where your fishing and that's where your woodcutting will come in. Maybe you just like concentrating on killing stuff like I do, and that's where you can check out a couple of my other videos to see what would be best monetarily for you. And I give you a breakdown in every video that I make. This is my gear, this is why I like it, and this is how well it works. So you can go off that as a basis if you want to kill something. But other than that, I wanted to just clarify, exactly how I make my money and, what I do with it. Currently, I'm taking all the money that I buy or that I get from killing these tasks, and I'm buying 99 prayer, one step at a time. However much I make from one task is how much I'll buy, for the next. Like most recently, I bought 1,200 and sold dragon heads, so I'm getting through those. And I'm going to start on my next video, which is going to be 5,000 mutated blood velds. And then after that, I had a request from Grizzlegom, which is going to be 5,000 greater necreals. So, I just wanted to get that out there, for some people looking to make, money, good money in the game. And this may be, it may take you a little while. It usually takes me about a week to do one of these videos, kill 5,000 or 10,000 of something. But in that week, you didn't have to do much. Most of it is AFKable, and at the end, you've made somewhere between 20 and 50 mil, depending on what you're doing. So, Just do what you want to do. Do what you feel like is the best for you. And be patient. The money will come. You'll be able to buy stuff that you need, that you want. Maybe you want to get, an Armadillo God Sword so you can go try out PKing. If you just a little bit of a grind, and you'll get there. So thanks guys for checking out this video. I'm going to be working on my 5,000 blood belts here soon. Keep an eye on my channel. I'll probably be back within the next week or two with that video and maybe something intermittent. So take it easy guys, I appreciate it. Thanks.